You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
This is your therapy session. You can just let it all out.
Yep. Alicia told me today, I think, she said, a lot of people have been driving by honking because of your sign out there.
And what if you do all this painting and then someone tags like Trump 2020 on the side of your house? You got to paint over it.
I want it to be on a nice paint job. I want to be like, oh, look at that heap that they drew on. Firemen. Why are we not? Are we recording this? Is this a show? Because this is a show.
Hold on here. Make sure. Oh, it didn't. See, Zoom keeps updating and the features keep changing. Yeah. It says it's recording, so we're 7 minutes in.
Okay. I was going to get my picture here.
Have you not enabled screen sharing again?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
This is a different account because I was trying to get the free time.
Yes, he is a problem again.
Hold on. Let's see.
I quit listening after we got like 13 runs.
Yeah. Congratulations on taking the Ohio Cup once again.
Gotta keep that sucker in Ohio.
The made-up award no one cares about.
Well, that's something to really complain about. I pay so much for everything. You guys are lucky you're not in range of this bat. And this has pissed me off forever, is all this blackout bullshit. We pay for all this. You can't get a freaking service that will consistently have access to the games. It does you no good to switch to another service and go through all that because they'll be the next one to not have it. You can't just pay. You can't just pay and have this. It makes no sense. And then when they're on TV, even when your team finally is on nationally, it's blacked out because you have access to it in your local area. I mean, I want to murder somebody about this. How can they not get it figured out?
Baseball has so many problems with viewership, and like no one's watching or caring about baseball under the age of 90, and they can't figure out make it much harder for you to watch games.
Right. It makes no sense. And it drives me freaking crazy. It's like I can't even watch. I've been watching, hockey. I've been a Penguins fan forever, but I would have watched some of the Columbus game, but it's blacked out. It's like, what the hell? It's like, why are you making it so hard? And like, I have Dish, and their thing is like, we've got the Dish promise, and we're out. But if they're being unreasonable, we're not going to make that deal. It's like, and like, as if I know who's being unreasonable.
Yeah, they do that once a year where they come out like, well, we don't want to raise your rates, but they're making us.
Yeah. I don't even care if they raise the rates. It should be available to me on any of these services. If you want to make it ridiculously priced, then it's my fault. And
it should be Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, like all those games should be available on whatever you have. But it's like, well, if you want Cleveland, you got to go with this service. And if you want Pittsburgh, well, that's suddenly like
it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
I think we're okay now. Should be able to screen share, I do believe. But yeah, I'm just lucky that on my Hulu Live I have that Fox. I have Sports Time Ohio Fox and just Fox Sports Ohio. So I'm usually good with the Indians games and the Cavalier games. but I don't think I even get the hockey stuff.
Yeah, but you sign up for MLB full package or whatever. Well, you can't watch your home team. Like,
right.
I could watch the Oakland A's or whatever, but
like anybody cares about anybody but their home team. 98% of the freaking population, and that I know that everybody fights with this.
Yep,
and it makes no freaking sense. They're killing the whole thing. It makes me not want to even pay any attention.
Yeah, I don't understand why these sports, why you don't have a choice. Like, there should be an option of pick my teams or something, because even with NFL football, where we live here, you have Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, and it's even Baltimore. And after you throw them in, you have a 25% chance of what game you're going to get in the area.
And I've said before, it's already proven what the biggest team of the 90s were the Atlanta Braves, and the Chicago Cubs are still the biggest team in the world because those games were on every day on TBS and WGN. Yep. Everyone in the country with cable could watch those games, and they had huge fan bases. That should tell you something. Make the games available.
Yeah, they will root for whoever's eventually on television all the time. So
anyway,
but I'm glad sports are back. We've been watching.
Me too. I'd like to watch them.
Yeah, we've been watching some NBA stuff too, and it's been great. Like, no doubt the NBA. We were talking about this. They knew what they were. They had a better plan than anybody. And when I first heard that idea with Major League Baseball, we're gonna have a bubble out in Arizona, I thought that will never work. And so far, the NBA is the only one that is working completely. You know, they have 0 positive cases. So, anyways.
So, I'm tired. That's why I'm cranky. I paint my house this week. I took the week off. So, I'm out there all freaking day. I've got sunburnt to hell.
Mm-hmm.
But the one joy is I got to put my freaking sign up, and let's see if we can see it. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I clicked save on it. Son of a...
So I think I can hit you with this.
You can throw it that far?
Yeah. I'll reach that far. Look at this perspective. Are you scared of this? I got my hockey stick up here I carry around when I'm watching hockey. Yeah, this is for baseball. I bet you.
Sam, ready?
Yeah.
Get in the box.
Freaking. Watch out, Cliff. Oh! Insert broken glass sound. I stand here and shoot. Guess what? You'll never guess. I stand here and shoot fucking ping pong balls in the back of the couch while I watch hockey. That's the one I got plenty of. It's like Mr. Moose walked in here and dropped a bunch of ping pong balls. That's a dated reference.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing on that one.
Mr. Moose? Mr. Green Jeans? Is that better?
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Captain Kangaroo. They tell a joke. Mr. Moose tell a joke, and then ping pong balls would fall out of the ceiling. Can I share this now?
I don't know what's going on.
Host disabled your life. Anyway, I put my sign up, and I've been getting some honks. This is my my sign. I was put Nick's like annoying me because I can't think. Anyway, it's out there, people honking, driving by, and
yes, it has been noticed from my house that there's some honking going on.
Yeah, there's some. I've had one guy stop and just yell. That was good.
Like, yeah, buddy, or boo you.
It was illegible. I don't know what it was.
So then it doesn't matter.
No. I just went, yeah. I went and smiled and waved. Always just smile, and that was make them madder if they're mad. I don't know who's mad. So I've seen people just totally There's been people I'm waiting for someone to go in the ditch off the other side of the road because they'll like jerk the car and turn their head back. They miss it. They want to see it. And no, they don't know what's going on.
Who the heck is Andy Functiondolt? He ain't on the ballot.
Yeah. Anyway, they like it. What yeah, people stop and just totally stop their car and take a picture of it. I don't know. It's pretty good.
I was excited when you put it out. I couldn't wait to see what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I put it in the ground. Like it is on the last inch of my property.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Kind of obscure.
Right on the edge, yeah.
The next guy's sign. I'm not a sign guy. But I looked at that sign of his 4 years ago, and I'm not doing it again. So I put this up. I was putting it in the ground. Was funny as right as he was pulling in his driveway, like a foot away. It was great. It was exhilarating. I believe I
think that's how you described it.
Yes, I knew I was alive. Anyway, I got a gun. Check this out. This bad boy. Guess what this is?
It looks a little more severe than a Nerf gun.
It has a Nerf look to it, definitely. Yeah. Don't shoot this at your kids. This is stupid, but great. This is a assault gun. It says bug assault. Bug assault.
Okay.
An assault rifle, obviously. Uh-huh. But yeah, you cock it, sights pop up. You load salt in here, table salt, and you shoot bugs with it.
Wow.
You can buy a laser sight for it, but I haven't needed it yet.
And it just
what kind of range does it?
Yeah, does it spray salt or is it more concentrated?
It sprays just a pinch of salt. You cock it and it drops. It takes a thing up here and just takes a little bit down in there, and then it's like just. It's kind of the same concept as a Nerf gun, just and it shoots out just a spray of salt, and they don't know what happened. But and I, of course, the most me thing, it says you can use this table salt, but you can buy high performance salt. High performance, which if I were to rip this off,
like hollow point salt.
If I were to rip this off and it did not say Morton's, I'd be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever that costs above normal salt is just they're laughing at you.
I could have enough salt for 10 apocalypses for the price of this.
So I'm wondering, can you hit a baked potato from across the room?
No. Yeah. No, this is just a few feet. I mean, you got to be...
So you got to...
If you can see the bug...
Yeah, you got to sneak up on it.
You just get there, get it cleft in your sights, and then boom, before he knows it. And the worst thing could happen, just get a little salt on the floor.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't...
And a dead bug.
They're like, if it lands on your food, you could just shoot it and something. No. You could, but then now you've killed a bug on your food. It may just be salt you're adding, but
yeah.
Now what would Mr. Miyagi think of that? What kind of shortcuts?
Man who kills fly with bug assault can do anything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
that reminds me of a show I watched the other day. Carly and I, on your recommendation, binged watched that Love on the Spectrum on Netflix, and I don't remember his name, but he described himself as a little Chinese boy, and when he was on his date, and he was
that's Kelvin, right?
Okay, yes, it was. I think it was Kelvin.
I think.
And that girl and his date said, "How do you use those chopsticks? You're really good at that." And he said, "I'm a Chinese boy."
That show is delightful.
It was great. We watched it all in one day, one afternoon.
Yeah. So it was like 5 episodes. We're getting the Ka-Pow recommendation here.
A lot of people our age aren't interested in commitment. They're only interested in intercourse.
Finding love can be hard for anyone.
Do you feel anything about me?
Some girls don't feel like dating someone with disabilities.
That was too awkward.
Even though I'm on the spectrum, I'm capable of falling in love.
Well, I hope we can help you achieve that.
I really hope so too. I seriously do.
This series follows young adults on the autism spectrum.
Hello there. It's very The Bachelor.
Because it's entirely scripted.
Where's my script?
Let's see. No.
As they navigate the confusing world of relationships and dating.
Shall we pay for ours separately or something?
What is your disability? Because I'm not seeing one.
What does autism look like to you?
Point taken.
I just knew I was different. Sinead just felt similar to me.
I love you.
I want to experience love.
Don't automatically think we're gonna start kissing right now.
It's going so well.
Love on the Spectrum. It's about people with Asperger's or autism, and they're looking for love.
Yeah,
and they're such a good show just for like letting just another platform to be able to see into how these people have to live, what the problems they face, and see how normal they are.
They're
the things they deal with.
Socially awkward, and they
Aren't
bring
we
in
all?
Yeah, exactly, and they bring in some coaches to help them. But I was like, finally, a reality dating show I can watch.
Oh man, it's so lovely. I'm just like, well, I don't know.
It doesn't.
It's just these dates are just like the most precious,
pure
things that were ever crafted. It's just like, oh, they just like each other and they're trying to communicate, and it's so hard.
It's so hard, but
they're just so awkward. But it's so you just want them to. But when who was it? The one girl, that is kind of deaf, and she went on a date with Lotus.
Yes.
And she asked her what her favorite flower was, and Lotus was like,
"My name is Lotus.
My name is Lotus. I'm going with that." But it was just so it was just so nice that they just liked each other, and they were willing to put, just
it was interesting.
Let each other they all of them. Because they all know what the things they struggle with, right. So they know they are all consistently thinking about the other person and what they're dealing with in the situation. They're like, they might be overwhelmed. Like that guy Michael is one of my favorites.
He's the best.
He just has it all figured out.
Yeah.
He's got it all figured out. He's like, I'm gonna be. He. Some of my favorite quotes of his are just like, I don't want kids because they'll ruin my life and I won't be wealthy. He's like, I don't know what the plan is, but he's just like, it's like, wow. Michael already knew this at 25. He's got it all figured out. And he's like, she's going to be my queen. I like what he's like. They go in his room and they're like, what are those ducks? He's like, well, got a thing written here. It said, I bought these, so I'm looking for love. It says, there's that there. He's like, if you're looking for love, you take these ducks and you set them on your thing facing each other. He's like, I bought these 6 years ago. He's just like super serious. Like, this is going to work. I'm like, dude, Might want to try some freaking giraffes or something. These ducks are not doing the job.
They weren't working. Michael was my favorite, and when he goes on I think it was the second date, and I don't remember the girl's name, but they both liked comic conventions. They're in Australia. Okay, this is an Australian show.
Yeah.
So they're going to meet up at the comic convention, and she is like a cosplayer. She's all decked out in like this anime character, and he shows up and he's dressed as the skipper from Gilligan's Island.
And Nick and I were watching, and I was like, "This is me. I'm that guy." I'm like, she wants to talk about anime, and I want to talk about Gilligan.
And I've never seen somebody so excited to meet Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann. And
I was like, Nick, I'm curious to see if he is surprised when he sees her, whether he really thinks she's gonna look like she. I mean, of course not. He's got it all figured out. That guy knows what's going on.
But he was honest. It was the highlight of his life that he met Dawn Wells, and
he told her.
She signed. Yeah, he told her she signed his cookbook and took a picture, and
just like he's on the date with this girl, and he's like, "Well,
gonna go meet Dawn Wells.
Was nice seeing you."
He just walks off.
Yeah, but he was the things that were so great. Like I said, when they went on their first date or whatever, and she got kind of overwhelmed, and he was just like so worried about her and what
he
he
understood the struggle.
It was. Yeah. It is so. It's just wholesome. Is what the word I was looking for. This is just wholesome content. You root for everybody on this.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed because we were so favoring Michael.
Yeah.
From the first episode, by the time it got to like the fourth and fifth episode, and he had basically it had moved on to other people, and we were just sitting there like, I just want to know what's going on with Michael.
There was one dude, one of the later dudes, reminds me of a guy I work with. I'm going to recommend this show to him and see if he makes the connection. Does he notice anything? That's you, dude. Yeah, that one guy, the redheaded guy, was funny.
Yeah.
And the guy that likes dinosaurs, oh my gosh, his grin cracks me up. They're all awesome. Kelvin, every one of them is just the most awesome person, and I loved them all. And they had one. They're making more of this.
Okay.
Because it's a hit.
There was one surprising moment for Carly and I. I don't know her name. The redheaded girl. She was featured a lot in several episodes.
Yeah, she's great. She's like, she has a great quote too. Like, she's so real.
Well, there was one point where she was on a date, and the guy, he pulled her outside to like the boardwalk area, and he's like, let's dance. And they've got the music going, and she's kind of starts, and he doesn't realize she kind of has like a movement thing.
Yeah. She stops and stares at him.
Well, he kind of mimicked her as he thought she was dancing, and he kind of mimicked her movement, and she immediately stopped, and she goes, "Please stop making fun of my disability." And it was a very real moment, and he had no intention that.
I thought he explained it pretty well. He's like, I literally just asked you to dance.
Right.
He's like, I thought we were dancing.
But when she did it, Carly and I just kind of like froze. We were like, uh-oh, what's going to happen now? Is it going to go bad? But it didn't. So it was great. We loved it.
Yeah, she had some great lines. They're good. Which reminds me of another show. I think I told you guys was the Speed Cubers. I think it was.
Yeah, I did not watch that one.
It's a 40-minute, it's really short documentary about Rubik's Cube competitions or whatever. And it's good, and it also is basically the same subject because they're one of the best guys in the world at it is autistic, and he. It's just about like the championships in the last year or two, and him competing against this other guy who was always the best. And and they're all just freaking the greatest people. They're all just caring about each other and stuff, and watching out for the people that have problems and stuff. But it's just it's amazing, first off, to watch these people do these Rubik's cubes. Like they have the cubes that are just like have 4 rows or 5 rows, or on each side. They just get bigger and bigger. The main event is the traditional 3 3 rows on each side, but they do that in they can solve a Rubik's cube in less than 10 seconds every time.
Well, even on that dating show, one of the guys, he had a whole bunch of them, and they were different shaped and different. They were the larger ones, and he's like, I like puzzles, and he was working them out whenever he got anxious or whatever. So
yeah, it's a good pairing, these two shows.
Yeah.
That's called the Speed Cubers. That should not have the word "the" in front of it. Just why not? Just call it the Facebook. It's just Speed Cubers. Come on.
Anybody binge watch Umbrella Academy season 2 this week? Really?
I didn't even get into the first season, so I know it's a huge hit.
Yeah,
but I never finished the first one.
Yeah, we really enjoyed season 1 and had went through it pretty quickly when it had come out. And so Carly was especially excited about season 2. She watched it all in one day. I watched it over 2 days. And it's still good. I like season 1 a little better. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but this season I thought the episodes were a little shorter than season 1, which made it kind of go, of course, quicker. But I wrote down in my notes less hard hitting. Like, I didn't think it was quite as violent as season 1. So it was a little toned down. I thought more for those, maybe season 1 was more the adult teenager level, and season 2 I thought they brought it down to maybe that PG-13 rating, whatever you want to call it. Right. But I thought you guys would really like it because of the time travel stuff. This one is heavy on the time travel stuff, to where they go back into the night. It's pretty much all set in the 1960s. So it starts out and they're all kind of picks up from when they transported out season 1, and they all kind of get spread out among 3 different years, from 60 to 63. And there's a lot of JFK stuff in there. I really enjoyed it. I don't give too much away because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, I like season 1 quite a lot. I think it'll be one of those ones I kind of save up for when I get Netflix again. That'll be one of the first things I watch, yeah. But it's not worth getting a month of Netflix just to watch that for me.
Yeah. The only really bad thing about it was Diego's hair in this one. For some reason, he has long hair, and it's very off-putting. So, releasing tomorrow, by the way, I'm going to recommend this without even seeing it.
Cool.
Disney Plus is releasing a documentary called Howard.
Ready to stand. Ready to stand.
As a lyricist, the last great place to do musicals is in animation.
The combination of Howard Ashman's talent and the Walt Disney name was a home run waiting to happen.
The stuff that was coming out of Howard's pen lyrically was just unbelievable.
Quiet, you know what I mean?
It's a quiet village.
Yeah. Howard and Alan Menken had captured the imagination of a generation. We knew something really special was happening, but what we didn't know was that in 9 months, Howard would be gone.
And Howard said, we really have to have a serious talk. I'm sick.
In animation history and in musical history, Howard's mark is indelible.
Me. Yes.
Howard's gift was so strong and his light was so bright that It has not diminished over the years.
Based on Howard Ashman. If you've seen Waking Sleeping Beauty, we've talked about him before. He was the lyricist of Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all that Disney Renaissance stuff. He was the guy that wrote the lyrics to all those big songs.
How much more above the price of my subscription to Disney Plus do I have to pay to watch this?
Zero. This is
really,
yeah. This is not a.
That's new.
It's not Mulan. But Howard Ashman, he passed away from AIDS before Beauty and the Beast ever was finished. So we've talked about him before. I'm just going to tell you right now, the documentary is going to be great.
That's a preview.
Yes.
A+.
Wow.
That's right.
Are you in the Umbrella Academy?
And then
what do you think of that Mulan news?
Yeah, so we got the announcement $29.99.
$29.99.
Yeah.
On top of what you already pay for Disney Plus.
But okay, Cliff and Alicia take the kids. He's saving money there.
$50 if we take the kids.
That's less than they would have spent at the theater.
That's true.
Well, I'm trying to be cheap like Michael.
Yeah, that's how
my friend Level and Spectrum and the other Michael. That he's cheap too, and we don't like to just freaking throw money around like that.
Well, the interesting
that's a ridiculous price to me, especially
we have talked about this before about first run movies and streaming at home and what would you pay for? This has been a long topic of conversation, and
now it's really happening.
Restarted the debate. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't like that it's on a subscription service that I have. That's my problem with it. It's like it's not like Disney is giving me that much content that I want personally. And what's next? What
Well, isn't Amazon Prime?
Black Widow's next.
Huh? You can watch the King of the Pete Davidson movie came out on Amazon Prime, but you had to rent it separately and pay extra for it. Like, is it that much different than that?
Well, you don't have to have a subscription to Prime to rent a movie on Prime. Like
on Amazon, yeah,
right, on anything. I could get that thing anywhere or whatever. I'm saying I'm paying them for content, and now they're like, okay, but if you want the actual good content, it's this one. Now I know it shouldn't be.
You're paying for time, you're paying. It'll be on Disney Plus, in 6 months. The 30 is the premium you're paying for the first run.
Right. That if it was 20, I wouldn't say anything. If it was $20, which is what they are doing with these other movies, I wouldn't say anything. But where do they get off thinking that they can charge that much more?
Well,
they just announced last quarter's revenue was down 42% from 2019. Disney only made $11.87 billion last quarter.
Yeah, so
where's the rest of that going to come from?
I have the Disney third quarter earnings report that just came out. Okay,
they sent it to Cliff first.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet, but I recommend it.
Exactly.
The company took in $3.5 billion.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, the company took a $3.5 billion hit to its operating income due to the parks being closed around the world. Okay, so the parks being down, the parks were down 85%. All right, for the quarter, they had a net loss of $4.72 billion overall. So they announced this Mulan deal. As soon as they do that, they also announced they have a new streaming service coming to not our country, but other countries, from the Star Network that was acquired in the Fox deal. Their stock immediately rose 5% in the extended trading after Bob Chapek announced that. Okay, $29.99 premium Mulan coming, and we've got a new Star Network coming out. Stock immediately had went up after that.
I don't have any problem with them trying to recoup the money. You know, they need to. We have this product that we cannot get to the people, and we want to do what these other people are doing and put it out for, you know, consumption. That's fine. I don't like the price because it's almost twice as much as everyone else is charging.
Yeah, I get that. I
That's
do.
my problem.
I do. And I guess as a Disney consumer, I'm so used to paying a premium over the competition. That could be part of it. Also, it could be an experiment of how much will people pay. They do that. Let's try it at $29.99. If nobody buys it, maybe we'll move it back to $25 or $20 or whatever. Or the next one we'll put out, you know, at a better rate. But the thing that I thought was interesting was the movie theater chains are ticked off that they're doing this because they're taking money.
They've always resisted that idea.
Yeah.
Of, you know, at-home premieres.
Right. And then
they need to do the Athena Cinema has some deal with independent movies or whatever, but you can watch online what they would have in the theater, but you know, it's independent movies. But you pay them, they've got deals, you know, so they continue the relationships, and you just watch it through their website or whatever and pay a small, you know, whatever you would pay to go see it in the theater. It's like, why can't they figure that out?
It's all the stuff I talk about the comic book industry of holding back innovation and, you know, changes that might have growth because we don't want to change anything. We don't want to make comic shop owners mad. It's the same thing in the Hollywood. We have to keep these theater owners happy. Well, there's fewer and fewer theater owners now. There's fewer and fewer theaters making less and less money every year. So you have to, why wait till the industry's almost dead before you figure out something new and a different way to do it?
Couple other numbers from that earnings call real quick that I found interesting. Disney now
I thought I had a scoop. I thought those numbers would impress you.
I wasn't.
You're sitting here. You've got the
He's the one that
straight from Wall Street.
He sends them the numbers.
I'm impressed. Disney now has 100 million paid subscribers across all its streaming platforms, meaning Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus. 100 million paid subscribers. Half of those, roughly, are Disney Plus subscribers. Disney Plus has 60.5 million paid subscribers already meeting their 5-year goal for the service with 4 years left to go in that goal.
Wow. Imagine if like every account wasn't shared by about 12 people.
Right. That's true. Imagine where they wouldn't have to charge $29.99 for Mulan.
I'd say a lot of that's thanks to the situation we're in. A lot of people got Disney Plus because they didn't have anything else to do.
I agree. I think that's a very
so
true
by
statement.
all means, take advantage of them and charge them a lot of money.
Well, I hadn't watched anything on there for a while, but one thing did get me to log back into Disney Plus, and it was the Muppets.
Yes,
we had a new
Muppets Now.
Muppets Now.
Muppets No.
I'm interested to hear what you thought.
I'm sure Cliff loved it. I think Seth hated it. I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, it was fine.
I don't think it was, but
it wasn't made for me.
Like, no, it's not my Muppets.
Yeah. I was impressed though, thinking, you know, it took a lot of the classic feel of the Muppets, or the classic characters, but it's not a show from the 70s. Like,
it's not a show from Chef. It's the show from 2001.
Right, being zoomed at you. But yeah, it's, you know, the Swedish Chef is like a Julia Child type show in the 70s. But now it's cooking competitions. Right. That's what the kids now are familiar with. And what other bit there was there? I remember thinking, wow, this is kind of a modern take. All the what was the talk show back and forth felt like a
Yeah. But
even this is the one time you didn't need to Zoom. It's like, you just make a show. Oh my God, we're going to have to watch so many Zoom shows for the next 5 years because nobody realizes we don't want to see that. Yeah, the Muppets. Just make the Muppet Show.
Yeah, have you ever seen the behind the scenes? Like the guys with the puppets are all crawling around on the floor, like they're all on top of each other. Like, yes, the Muppets are not transmitting viruses, but the people behind the Muppets would be in very
They're still doing that. Why do we have to do through this fake clicking around on the screen thing?
I did enjoy the Scooter's little part where he had launched the show before anybody could give him notes as the producer of the show. I thought that was rather clever. And then as soon as the show starts, immediately he's getting just bombarded with emails and messengers about how they're all unhappy with this or that. I thought that was
that was stupid. That annoyed the hell out of me. I like Scooter. I like that back thing. Scooter and Kermit was probably my favorite part about the Muppet Show is Kermit's trying to be in charge and Scooter's running around trying to do stuff for him. And I like their back and forth back there by the desk just off the stage. And it's like, this was not that. And I don't know the story. I'm sure you do. Who's the guy that got screwed that actually can do that voice? There's some dude.
Yeah.
And
we talked about him. Yeah.
What was the deal?
Well, the deal was he was, if I remember correctly, he was trying to prevent, number one, with the Muppets, they tend to, when you have a character, it's kind of like a legacy deal where they expect you to kind of have like an understudy in case, to pass it on eventually or whatever.
Right.
He refused to do that. He also, I think, was kind of doing some stuff himself, maybe, like not through the proper channels. Okay, like kind of.
I don't know all that.
Kermit on the side stuff. I think, if I remember correctly.
What is this, like an Elmo thing?
No.
Okay,
but and I
don't know what an Elmo thing is. But it sounded
We all
shady.
Understood it. No one knows what you meant, but we all understood.
It sounded shady.
So, either way, he fell out of the good graces of Disney and Henson and...
Well, this guy, whatever, the new guy's voice, it's just some guy talking.
Yeah.
It's just some guy that barely sounds like Kermit the Frog talking. Occasionally, you're like, hey, it kind of does sound like Kermit the Frog. But 90% of the time, I'm like, that's just some guy talking. It's not he's not even doing a voice. It's like, this is supposed to be the Muppets.
That's because the old guy wouldn't serve as a mentor and teach the guy how to do it.
There's nobody that can talk like Kermit the Frog. That's like the Looney Tunes thing irritates me too over the years because I mean, what's it? Is it like the old stuff just was drawn animation and now everybody uses computer animation?
I think
it's
so.
It's never going to be as good as it used to be, unless I don't care what they do. It never looks the way it used to. It's fine. This new stuff is fine, but it does not look like the old stuff. And I mean, I know it's just so much easier to do it this new way, but it doesn't look as good. It just drives me freaking crazy.
You know how artists are. They tend to want to put their own little spin on everything too.
Everybody always looks fatter in all new animation of Looney Tunes specifically.
I haven't watched
just
any
like
of that.
I like the classic look of these characters and the voices, and it bugs me that they can't find anybody to do the voices of any of these characters well. Miss Piggy on this show sounded like Miss Piggy. I was like, yup.
And Gonzo did too.
Yeah. Just like, what? I just feel like there's got to be a million dads out there that can do a Kermit the Frog voice. You know what I mean? That's what dads do.
Well, I didn't absolutely love this show, but I didn't dislike it. I thought, you have to keep in mind, this show's been in production for a long time. It was announced way back before
that
COVID.
Means they had a lot of time.
Well, what I'm saying is the concept of the show has already been decided. This is how it was different at the time before COVID, and now here we are, and everybody is doing that. It's just really bad timing.
I just want it to be good.
I do too.
What was I feel like I remember hearing. Well, there was something Josh Gad was going to do, which I'm not a big fan of his, but I remember thinking whatever the idea was sounded good.
Oh,
with the
Muppets.
Yeah, what was it supposed to be?
I remember.
Whatever it was that they didn't end up doing sounded like a way better idea than anything they ever do. I don't know. I guess I'm just a fuddy-duddy. I like my original Muppet Show, my Muppet movie, and all that.
You're a Muppet purist. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's just like I would watch new Muppets if it was good. Like the Swedish Chef stuff was good, and that was good.
With the updated jokes of having
even the Miss Piggy stuff was good because she was being Miss Piggy. That was good, but it was honestly I think it was just too casual. Who were they sitting and talking to when I shut it off? That it was just like, are you filming this? Why are we filming this? There's somebody's holding a Kermit the Frog Muppet up here, and some dude is just talking and mouthing doing this. And who was it? RuPaul or somebody they were talking to?
Yeah. RuPaul was the interview.
This was the most casual conversation that was boring as hell, and just went on and on until that's when I shut it off. I was just like, you guys aren't even doing a Muppet Show anymore.
I think
you're just talking to some guy.
Issue with the Muppets, I don't think Disney has done a very good job with them. But when the Muppets movie came out, like not the Muppet movie, but the Muppets that Jason Segel did a few years ago, I thought that was.
If a freaking Muppet walked in here right now, would blow it away, beat it to death.
It is hard to get salt out of that fur.
That'd be the best tasting Muppet.
But I thought Jason Segel did a really excellent job with that movie.
Yeah,
because it felt old school.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and I think that's what
being the first episode might be the only one a lot of people watch, and that the level of celebrity we get: RuPaul, Taye Diggs, and Linda Cardellini.
Taye Diggs,
that's where not that those people are very famous. They have big fan bases, but that's not like the celebrity oomph I would expect that the Muppets should be able to draw anyone.
Yeah.
Why would you not have Mark Hamill in there? First thing. Boom. It's like that would have been a great callback to some classic Muppet Show, and just I don't know what people are doing.
And again, even if it is for a younger generation, Mark Hamill would have
about Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, but what 12-year-old's like, oh yes, Linda Cardellini.
RuPaul, baby! Ask him what he likes to do, where he eats, his lunches, Ask him some very trivial questions right now. Yeah, just say it, however. Don't even try to sound like Kermit the Frog. Just talk to him. You just gotta go like this.
It just seemed kind of limited by the format and by how hard everyone was trying. But I like the social network or whatever it was called, the Rainbow Connection. Like all the Muppets were chatting. It was called the Rainbow Connection.
I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, I'll watch a few more episodes for sure, and anticipating it gets better, because I think it will.
You told me to watch that last episode of the Gallery thing on Disney.
Oh yeah,
it was good.
It was really good. Yeah, I don't know how I hadn't watched it to that point, but it was was it episode 8 or whatever?
I think
they just kind of the wrap up and everything. Yeah,
it was called Connections, and it was all all the little things they put into Mandalorian, trying to connect to old material, which was that's what we're talking about.
Fan service.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The problem with what the Muppets are doing, it's like you got to have all this crap in there.
They need to call Dave Filoni.
Oh yeah. Had the a whole segment on the ice cream maker.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I loved it. The whole
holiday special footage talking about the gun and
yeah.
I would love to have some of that art that guy drew all this stuff before they filmed it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't wait for season 2.
Great stuff.
I cannot wait for season 2.
Talking about the dark saber and then seeing all those 501st guys getting to show up and be on the show and stuff.
Yeah, that I love that. Them not even knowing what they were going to be in,
right?
Just show up and bring your gear and hey, you're on the show. That's fabulous. But I thought that Darksaber, the prop was. I couldn't believe they made that.
Yeah.
I
did like the point that they were saying, like, trying to remind themselves. I think it was Filoni saying it's like, it doesn't have to look like it does in the cartoon because that is, that's a whole art style, right, of the cartoon. That's not how it would look in real life.
Yeah.
It basically looks just like it does in the cartoon, but it looks fine. I mean, it looks fine, but it's like they act like they really don't need to make things look like the cartoon. The cartoon is kind of stylizing the live action stuff.
They need to get the Ewok movies on Disney Plus, especially after teasing us with the blurgs and showing that, hey, these did come from this. And freaking his name just escaped me. Diabetes. Wilford Brimley passed away. We need that Ewok movie on Disney Plus. Caravan of Courage right now.
Oh, he was in that? Is that your freaking... Oh. Hit the brakes, folks. We're doing a one job.
Before we go any further, this is one job. We say which thing you need to keep forever. That'll never leave us. It'll make us so happy for the rest of our lives. We'll put it on their headstone, raise the rest for our time. Will you love it? Will you love it forever? Do you need it? Will you never leave it? Will it make you so happy for the rest of your life? Did we take one away that you enjoy what you love? You gotta know right now. Before we go any further, we pick one job, the rest they goodbye forever.
Okay, Wilford Brimley died at 137 years old. He was born 65 and a half years old.
Sounds about right.
Emerged from his cocoon.
With Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah. So, do you guys have anything pop to mind right away that other than Caravan? How big a role does he have in that?
He is like...
He's bigger than most Ewoks, so I assume it was a pretty big role.
Pretty big.
Well, this says it was he in another one too? Because this one says Battle of Endor.
Yeah, the Caravan of Courage was the first one. Battle of Endor was the second one. So basically...
He's in both?
No. He's in the second one. The first one was about the family that crash lands, and then in the second one, they all die except for the little girl. And then she runs into Wilford Brimley's character, and him and her are the stars of the movie, along with Wicket. So they battle these guys that look like the Marauders from episode 4 of The Mandalorian, when they go to the planet with the blue shrimp and the Marauders that come into their village.
I don't know what you're speaking
with the chicken walker.
No, yeah.
Okay. But the bad guys in Battle for Endor look like those guys.
Oh.
So
I'm going over to that stove and getting me some more soup. Whatever you do, you stay right where you are.
Let's see what we got here. Who's in the Wild Wild West? Whatever that is. A lot of junk here.
He was in a lot. I mean, he was a big actor.
Yeah, I was trying. So I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised every time I look at somebody's catalog and there's like nothing. Cocoon was huge for him, you know.
I got a couple of things I need to talk about with you. Yeah? Yeah. I guess me and your grandma are going away, David.
Where to?
Well, that's not important. What's important is that when we get where we're going, we'll never be sick, we won't get any older, and we won't ever die.
You're joking me, right?
No.
Would I be able to visit you, Grandma?
No. And we wouldn't be able to visit you either, and that kind of bothers me.
I'd never see you again?
No.
When would you go? If you did?
Soon, my boy, soon. And you know where?
Where?
Look up. Outer space, my lad. Outer space.
Who's gonna take you to outer space?
It don't matter.
The Thing. I just watched for the first time recently. He was in. Let's see. Ewok Thing. Tender Mercies. Did you hear about the Morgans? In and Out. I guess he was in. Don't remember him. Hard Target. That's one where he's like riding a horse with a bow and arrow. It just looking like Wilford Brimley. You know, I mean, the guy has always looked the same.
Yeah.
100 years old and just.
Wasn't he in that TV show Our House in like the late 80s, early 90s? Let me look that up.
Gus Witherspoon had a peaceful life until his whole family moved in.
You've been taken over by the invasion of the body snatchers.
Does Gus have the nerve to put up with this lively bunch?
Don't you ever bet I don't have the nerve.
Wilford Brimley stars in Our House, Sundays this fall.
You saying that reminds me of him being in something, but I don't remember that being the name of it.
Yes, Our House. Aired on NBC for 2 seasons. I thought it was on longer than that. Centers on the Witherspoon family and challenges they face adjusting to life with 3 generations living in the same house. It starred also Shannon Daugherty. What did I say? Shannon Daugherty. And Chad Allen. But I remember that show.
I vaguely remember. Who was the mom?
Deidre Hall.
Yeah, the girl from is this the one with Corky?
No, that was a different show.
Okay, but I could as soon as you said him in the show, I remember I could picture her. She was the woman from Days of Our Lives.
Yeah,
can't remember her name on that, but yeah, what was the one with Corky? Life Goes On or something like that.
Yes, Life Goes On.
I can't remember what I remember this show though. I could picture the house. I would have never come up with the name of this show. But I don't remember it being bad.
He was in China Syndrome.
He was in The Natural.
Yes, he was the manager in The Natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
He was in True Grit.
Okay.
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Oh, really? And we just watched recently, because it was on Netflix, The Firm.
So, Mitch, this is a debriefing. Know pretty much what you told the fellas, so I kind of got the picture. Now it's my job to give you the picture. What I'm concerned about, son, is this. The FBI wouldn't come after you if they didn't figure they'd get to you. What do you suppose made them think that?
I have no idea.
See, it's my job to have an idea about that. For example, they might know how important your young wife is to you, and they might choose that.
How?
Avery says last Friday you took the afternoon off. He figures you might have been with another woman.
That's where he plays like the security for the firm. He's the main guy in charge of security, and it's just so funny because I remember it being such a funny thing because he was the diabetes guy and he was getting the crap beat out of him by Tom Cruise. And he was like saying, he's just like cussing up a storm and everything.
So, what's your vote?
I gotta tell you, whatever year that was, I watched the movie Hard Target a minimum of 5 times. I don't know. I watched that movie over and over again, and I can't to this day tell you why. But he was like from the Bayou. He had a real Louisiana Cajun accent.
Here, drink. But do not spill. It killed the grass.
The place is clean. He just left.
Mon petit fou putain!
Is this like a most dangerous game type thing?
I'm having a hard time even remembering. Yeah, it was like Jean-Claude Van Damme was being hunted, and like he went out to Wilford Brimley had to help him. He was an old like Cajun guy who lived out in the bayou, and like gave him a bow and arrow and whatever. Yeah, it was ridiculous, that 90s like extreme.
Yeah. It says he was a wealthy sportsman who hunts homeless men as a form of recreation.
Ah, okay, there we go. That sounds right.
Why do I not remember that game or that movie? Huh.
But I don't know that I've ever seen another Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh,
but for some
the
reason
best
that
one, Sudden Impact.
No, I've never seen it. But for some reason I've seen Hard Target.
Kickboxer.
Never.
Bloodsport is great, of course, but Bloodsport.
We're not doing a one job.
And Sudden Impact is the hockey one.
Swerve. We're gonna do a twofer again. But yeah, I think Cocoon.
Could it just be his diabetes commercial?
I was gonna say, can we just do
that
diabetes?
That would be his one job. That's what everyone knows about him.
Yeah, we did it.
I can see. Yeah, Thing is pretty a pretty good choice. Cocoon would probably be his most famous mainstream role. But yeah, who knows more about him than hundreds of times on TV talking about his diabetes?
If you have type 2 diabetes like I have, you're confronted with choices. You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. I hope you don't. I hope you choose to get involved with a good doctor. Find out some things about diabetes and your own body in the bargain. You'll learn to check your own blood sugar and check it often. That, along with a simple diet and exercise program, can help keep your diabetes under control.
It seems like a slap in the face.
A little bit, but...
we never get to do this to anybody that's like in the prime of their lives. We're always like, well,
Jean-Claude would be, but
this person just lived their whole life. They just died, and we are going to distill them down to a series of commercials they did. I don't know. I don't know if I can vote for the diabetes. I could vote for it. If you guys are in, I'll go with it.
I mean,
what's your actual answer?
As like legitimate acting, non-commercial. I immediately remember him from the Ewok movie, but
of course,
it's probably Cocoon.
I don't even know if I've ever watched.
I watched that movie.
I feel like I was too young to not be bored by what I was watching. I think when I saw it, I was like,
oh, the face of the Quaker Oats as well.
Yep, true.
So
look, if we can't do diabetes, we're not doing Quaker Oats.
I was kind of between the firm and the thin. So, but I don't think I got any.
I can't say I've seen either one of those.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's not a big deal to me. Whatever.
I'm trying to look up what the commercials were for. Like, he wasn't promoting diabetes. So, like,
I thought he was telling you, if you gotta go, get diabetes.
Like, I'm Googling, I can't find an actual. It was just like raising awareness. The American Diabetes Association.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it just some vague, like? Yeah, I don't even know what he was advertising, but that's what he's most famous for.
I don't know either. I never questioned it. I just decided we're supposed to something about diabetes.
Then he shouldn't. He's not a very good spokesman. Then if we don't even know what he's promoting.
Yeah.
There's a million different diabetes memes out there, but none of them.
They are infinite.
Commercial. Let's see. Liberty Medical. Does that sound right?
Sounds like a Liberty Medical commercial, yeah.
Was it an insurance deal?
I don't know. In the annals of history, Wilford Brimley will forever be known as Wilford Brimley, the diabetes guy.
Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I've had diabetes for about 20 years. I stay active and I feel pretty good most of the time. See, I do a few simple things now. I'm not perfect, but I try and watch my diet and exercise, and I check my blood sugar. And I get all my diabetic testing supplies from Liberty Medical. If you're 65 or over and on Medicare, call Liberty. They can help you live a better life.
We did it.
We did it. Oh, wow. I had a few other things, but we're about an hour into it, guys.
Yeah, this is a good place to cap this one.
Okay.
All right, well, that was off the cuff and in your face, and
great.
Yeah.
Ka-Pow now. Again. Just like Muppets now.
Ka-Pow now.
Yeah.
Ka-Pow now. No.
Ka-Pow now, brown cow.
High performance Ka-Pow.
All right, well, thanks for listening, and we will be back soon with even more. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.